We are back. Welcome to Factorio. And let's get started again and figure out what we were doing. Now, if I recall correctly, what we were doing was we were going to grab a whole bunch of additional resource nodes so that we have enough of that stuff coming in. Before we do that, let's just pop over here and check that this is... Alright, it's not working because of a lack of red circuits because of all of those other issues that we have. Right. Alright, so we need, I believe, oil pretty badly, which is right there. And we could also use some copper, which is right there. So let's go down there. And it might be easier to just take a train. So I can pop you in. Make sure you're facing the right way. I'll just put you in a station so that I know you're facing the right way. And so that you get filled up. Then we're going to hop in. And we're going to set you to automatic mode and add a stop to the schedule, and I guess we can just go down to that. Actually, no. Does it have to be manual mode? If I go manual mode and I just... Alright, no, that's all not going to work. We're just going to need to add... what? Please, let me go to South Artillery, because I know there's exactly one of those. And then set you to manual mode, or to automatic mode. And have you go down there. And you don't have a train limit, so that we can get started as well. Now, hopefully, all the time spent figuring out how to get that going won't make this longer than it would have been to just walk. And the congestion looks like it might be an issue too. So let's get around there. Off we go. And we are off. So this, we're going to have to do this whole ridiculous loop. I forgot how absurd the train system is in that particular portion. Alright. But we should be making our way there. Now, it's not the world's most direct route. I'll say that much. Alright, so then trains all go around. And we're here. So I'm going to hop out and grab that. And then I guess we'll just run the rest of the way. We're going to have to start building soon. Alright, so this is an iron patch, which is fine. So, first of all, does our artillery reach out here? It does. So let's clear out some of these guys. Alright. There we go. Just get the rest of these. And that one. Alright, so that, once the shells come through, should be that nest dealt with. Which is the most imminent threat to our new oil patch. And there we go. And then there's just a couple random extra shells. Alright, then we're going to need to also get rid of... They seem to have put worms just absolutely everywhere, which could pose a risk. So we're just going to get rid of all of those. And seems like all of the artillery in range is out of ammo now. That's fine, though. That should be good enough, at least. At least to start. Alright, so now we have this loop which goes there. So what we need to do is we need to get this out like that, and then connect it up to something like this. This is horrendous, but if we do that, and then we grab this and we just bring it around the patch, then we should have a way of getting past this spot without running into issues. More stuff is being destroyed. Where? It's up at this corner again. Alright, what's doing that? Oh, it's this nest down here. Got it. Off you go. So we're just gonna get rid of you real quick. Alright, so that should be that dealt with. And then we just have to get all of these drones sorted out. I don't know what they're waiting for. It looks like they're waiting for a drone to get rid of the trees. But those drones are apparently just very far away. Alright, so that line can just go along that way. Then we have to run up and get this line built. And eventually get them merged together so that we can drag both of them at once. So this has to go down here. And just something like that. Into the woods you go. And then this comes over there. And now we just have to drag both halves over to the oil patch. So this comes down here. And then straightens out that way. And this just goes along that way. Alright, we are getting there. We are getting there. It's going to take a lot more of this. And a lot more of this. Alright, drones are building. Alright. Okay. We are apparently within range of that worm being active. So we are going to need, we're going to need artillery out here, which means we're going to need to drag a power line back. So we need to clear out the immediate area so that it's safe to build, as well as just being safe to do all the other stuff that we need to do. Alright, so now we have power out to there. And we're gonna need drone coverage as well, which I very cleverly put the power lines in a spot where that doesn't work. Although maybe we can squeeze them down there. Yes. Alright, cool. Alright, so this is all connected up to the main drone grid. And we just have to keep going this way. So there. And out to here. Alright, so now what I need is to have this area be fortified, because I'm going to be calling it a train. I'm going to be calling it an artillery train, which is going to draw all sorts of attacks. So we're going to need power and a whole bunch of laser turrets. And then we're going to need a wall. Alright, that power line doesn't connect up to anything. Alright, so we have all this. And then we get our wall in, which would be easier if there weren't a billion trees in the way, preventing me from seeing where the turrets even are. But it's going to be something like that. And I guess we should prevent them from flanking, so we can do that. And we can even get some gates in. Like that, and that. And then connect the whole thing up. Alright. So, now, I just realized we don't have a loop for the train, which means that this isn't even going to work in the first place. So what we need is that, basically. Yeah, and then this is close enough to those biters that they're going to be an issue. So let's just call in the train and hope that it works. Alright, so train can go there. And we then need to find the train itself. So we go to here, and you, instead of going there, we add a new station, which is... Just realized I haven't named this. This can be South Artillery 2. Hello, Thai Guy. I am trying to clear out some space for new expansions, and it's not going... It's not going great, but it's not going terribly either, so that's fine. So we need to add this, and then wait until, I don't know, something like that. Alright, so now we have the artillery. And so you should start firing away. Why are you not firing? So have I, like, lost all of my drones? No. Alright, what are you doing? Where are you going? Alright, the train has simply left. Thank you for that. Very cool. Alright. Could you come back? Yeah, okay, I saw you earlier. Account created 2 hours ago? Yeah, absolutely not. Alright. Yeah. The old classic spammers. Alright, so now I guess we just have to wait for that train to show up again, which hopefully won't take very long, though it does have to go all the way through the entire system. Yeah, this is like the most convoluted possible line. There we go. So you're going to be here, you're going to wait for 5 seconds, and then you're going to come back. It would have been easier to just place a blueprint for a stationary gun here. That would have been easier. But at least we have the train coming now, and hopefully it'll work this time. Okay, so you just wait for 5 seconds of inactivity, I guess. I think because it doesn't have any cargo inventory, because it just has the gun, that's what's happening. Okay. Is there a button to, like, only dismantle trees? Because I would really like to get rid of all these trees, but I don't want to get rid of all the power. Alright, the gun is on its way, and it should have a lot of ammo banked up, so it should be pretty good at getting rid of these various spiders. Alright, it's almost here. You can make a custom deconstructor. Alright, how do you do that? Because I've never even heard of such a thing. Alright, no, stop. Put the red box in inventory, then add filters to it? Interesting. No, you could do such a thing. Alright, you just stop here. And somehow you had auto-targeting deselected. That's what happened. Alright, so now we can just fire away. Put the red box in inventory. Right-click to open. Ah, trees, rocks only. There we go. So then we can take that and just get rid of all of those guys. And now we can see what's happening. And all those drones are gonna fly out across that, like, this entire biter-infested wasteland rather than doing anything reasonable. So they're probably all going to die, but that's fine. Oh, I forgot to put gates in the front. That's important. Okay, so we need to slightly change this so that we can have gates going through instead of that. Alright, so we have that. Then this is going to have to go out. And I guess the gun can just be stuck here for now. It's got plenty of ammo, so it should be fine. However, we need more laser turrets there. And we could probably use a couple here as well. And these biters are doing a lot of damage. Definitely doing a lot of damage. Goodness, that was a ridiculous attack there. And we lost most of our construction bots. That's not good. So they will eventually send more of them to us, but we are going to be a bit vulnerable until that happens. So hopefully that giant attack was the only attack of that scale. Because if not, we're going to be in pretty serious trouble. Alright, this is shooting like crazy. Yeah, that's basically what happens. We just have to get rid of the nests, so then we don't have to deal with this anymore. But in the short term, we have to have pretty significant defenses. We have to have a lot of defenses to be able to cover this. Alright. Construction bot supply currently very low. In fact, I wonder if it's worth just standing back. Right, it looks like that corner at least is going to be mostly cleared by now. The artillery is doing work. Yeah, well, the thing is, if I turn off the bots, then the biters then the lasers don't get repaired. And if the lasers aren't getting constantly repaired when something like that happens, then they're just going to get obliterated. And then that would be much worse. So I think it's better to just accept that some bots are going to be destroyed. It's just a price of doing business. Alright, so now we're shooting up there, which means that's the direction we're going to be attacked from. So let's have even more lasers up there. And also we are... I mean, this had 100 ammunition when it showed up. And now we are down to the 20s. Alright, that went much better. That went a lot better. Still losing some, but we are back up to the 40s. Alright, almost there. So once... we're gonna have to... Okay, there's another big attack. We're going to have to set this up so that the train can go back to refill, because currently that's not really an option. I was expecting 100 shells to be more than enough, but apparently that is not the case. Alright. I have repair packs, I have bots, Why are these guys not getting repaired? Oh, because bots from the other side of the country are deciding to show up and do it instead. Sometimes having drone coverage in an area is just the absolute worst thing possible. Alright. It seems to have stopped with 2 shots left, which I'm not sure why it's done that. So it looks like it's targeting but not shooting. So that's weird. Maybe if I just manually get in and nudge it a little bit. Yeah, I actually think we must be clear because it's not shooting anymore. So at least for the time being, till more biters show up from further away and we have a pollution cloud coming from here, should be relatively secure. Yeah, that's something that I've been considering. It's just, like, for most things, it's just more convenient to have it all connected so that it gets there eventually. But at some point, we might be far enough away that we have to change things. Alright, so let's venture out. Yeah, like you said, it's probably necessary at some point, but it also seems like, I mean, it's been handling itself pretty well up to the current level, which is still quite large. Okay. So I think one of those spots in there didn't get a gate, which is what happened. Alright, so we have that. And then we have this. We're just going to have to go also forwards through the area. Yeah, I also have basically like 100% RoboPort coverage. I think technically there are a couple minor gaps, but yeah, having RoboPorts everywhere is real cool. Alright, so we're going to have to redo the loop. So now, take all that out, and then you can go back up to reload, and then eventually you'll come back and it'll all be good. So now, we need to actually do the thing that we're here for, which is... Do I even have these? No, I'm going to have to craft a bunch, which is getting oil. So this is a combined yield of 997%, which should be a lot, hopefully. Alright, now where is it? It's up this way. So let's get these in and then build the security box around them once I know where they have to go. Alright, we need that one as well. Alright, biters, please don't attack at exactly this instant. If you can wait for like 5 minutes, that would be great. Alright, so that is all boxed in. And, oh, there's one down here, apparently. Also, there's a corner missing there. Yeah, I have... Well, my train square blueprint has built-in RoboPorts, so it's basically the same. Alright, we're going to have to take that down again. And rebuild it again. because there has to be an oil stop there. Alright, so let's just take all of that out. And then let's see, we don't need all of those walls to be like that. We need it to go down like that and over. And where's this? Can you... all those trees can go away so that I can see what I'm doing. Alright, we didn't miss any spots. The design plan is paying off. Yes, it's very helpful at this point. I have all of this up here. Yeah, it's pretty easy to design in bulk, and the reason I'm down here getting more oil is because I use such a massive amount of it when I'm running at full capacity that I just need a ton. Alright, so now we just sort of drag power poles all around. Alright, so now that is all powered up. Now we need defenses, and with the artillery having cleared out this area, we shouldn't need massively heavy defenses, but I'm going to have it be pretty substantial just in case. Also get this corner down here in case weird things happen. And then we just drag these around. Alright, so that should be at least more or less secure. And then what we need is we need a drone port in here so that all this stuff can get repaired as it gets damaged. And then we need to do train stuff. So this, we actually need... we might need a bit more space here between the train network and the... no, we can manage this. We just have to have it connect up on the other side, which is a bit weird. Alright, so then you do the loop there. And let's get another gate in so that I can leave. Alright, so this now exists. And the train can go around. Alright, so now we have all that. I want this to have its own permanent artillery piece. So that will keep this area nice and secure. And then we just need to set up all of the fluid stuff. So we have this. And does it fit here? It does. Barely, but it does fit. Alright, so let's put in a train station, which I'm in the wrong menu for. Let's grab this. And put it in, I guess, here probably. And then we have the fluid train unloader, which we're just gonna flip around to make a fluid train loader. Alright, so we don't want this to be that insecure. So we're gonna have it be like that, and then pipes are pretty good at being defensive. Alright, that power pole is in an inconvenient spot, so we'll get rid of it. Now you are attached up. And we just have to get the rest, which aside from that one, we have pretty good amount of free space. Alright, we do also have drones delivering extra pipes. So hopefully we won't run out of those. Although, we're having to use quite a lot of pipes in here. Alright, there we go. Is no one building that artillery? Alright, fine, I'll craft a new one. I thought we had some just like in a box somewhere, but apparently not. Alright, so now we have oil. And just to make sure that we don't have issues with this ever stopping, we just want this to be producing round the clock as much as possible. And now this gets called crude oil output. And there's already a train on the way. And we might want one extra. I don't know if this needs a train, but I'm going to give it one just in case. There you go. And you get a refueler. And, okay, that... I should have seen that coming. Okay. Stop. Wait, no, don't fire, don't fire. Oh, this is very hazardous. Okay. It's outside of the range of our defenses. So we're gonna need to send it back. Good times for viewership. Yeah, we've definitely got the entertainment factor going on with this thing. All right, so you can sit in there, hopefully, and just shoot away. Then we need some of this. Just get any signals on here at all so that stuff like that doesn't happen. And what do we need? Alright, yeah, here come the biters, and they're gonna just attack up to there. That's fine, we've got lasers for that. Alright, and now this actual gun is shooting as intended. Alright, so now you need to... Well, we need a way of getting around this without going into the station. So, I guess something like that as a turnaround. And then we're going to have to mess around with some signals some more. So you get a signal. And, okay, now we're going to have to do path signal related stuff. So that is going to need to be a path signal. That one can't exist. And, alright, so you should now be able to go through there and out and around there. So now, I guess that will also need to have a path signal. And hopefully that's fine. So now if we set you to automatic, you're just going to go off and go around and do whatever it is that you do. So now this train eventually is going to get that, but I can just toss in some here. And set you to crude oil group. And automatic. And off you go. Oh, another train has showed up. This one will actually fill up and almost get murdered by biters along the way. That's a bit of a concern. Oh, I need to turn the pumps around. I knew I was forgetting something. Alright, so this should be pretty much set up. And we're just gonna pump out the oil and send it back. So the biters seem to be ignoring the rails, which is good. They do, however, seem to still be attacking, which is not good. And we're still desperately trying to deliver artillery shells down here, which is gonna take a while. What even is that? That's just a random batch of biters just sitting in one spot for no apparent reason. Alright, let's just shoot at you and get you to do something. It's a colony starting. Is that a thing? Can they do that? Well, they're not going to be able to do it now. Rest in peace, random clump of biters. Alright, so now this should just be all set up, I think. And it's... I really should probably just set these to not have to fill up all the way. Because I think that's a significant source of our crude oil problems. They send a group of biters to morph into nests and worms. Interesting. I did not know that's how that worked. Well, let's see here. What were we doing? Right, so the next thing we needed to do was pop over and grab that copper. Because in addition to being short on crude oil, we are also short on copper. Alright, so we're just gonna head on over and hopefully deal with them that way. Yeah. Appreciate it. I really don't... There's a lot of things in this game that I don't fully understand. Like, I know the biters show up, I didn't know how they did that. But now I do. Alright, so we need to head up here and find this copper patch, which hopefully will be less annoying, because it's... I mean, we're still going to have to clear out some biters to get to it, aren't we? Alright, so let's grab these. And this is apparently a one-way setup, which is probably not optimal, but it's fine. So we just have to do that. Read the wiki on it. Yeah, I should read the wiki at some point. That seems like something which would be beneficial to do. Alright, so we just have to get these train lines over here. And, alright, we're able to get right up to the copper patch without issues this time. We don't have to get rid of a nest that's already there. So, let's just start walling this off. And then once it's walled off, we put in the laser turrets, and once the laser turrets are in, we're going to put in an artillery piece, and then it should be all secured. Alright, walls, check. Next up, Power lines. Just bring this over this way. And there are some. Alright, so now we have power. Next thing we need is drone coverage. So that comes over this way, so we can get our artillery shells delivered. And that just being in the corner there is probably enough coverage. We'll see if they can get down to repair that corner, but they probably should. Ooh, a gate was... That's a potential problem. A gate was destroyed, and I don't have automated construction of gates. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to just craft a whole bunch of them. And then just put them in a box, and that should last us for a while, hopefully. So there you go. You have 25 gates to use for repairs when needed. Okay, now the laser turrets. So these just go in. Get a good, respectable coverage around the entire side. And then power it on. Alright, we need to actually have a gate of our own to get into this. Which means I need to craft even more. Alright, so that is all set up. Next up, we have our gun, which we're just gonna... I don't even know where to put this, just in the same corner, I guess. Just like that. And we need to craft another one of these. Let's craft a couple, so that we have some spare, so we don't have to do this every time. Alright. Why is... I could have sworn that crafting these turrets was a lot faster last time. Who knows? It's getting there, though. It's like 3/4 of the way done. And we're gonna have to wait for the shells to show up anyways, so that's not really a problem. Speaking of which, we have 48 in logistic storage, which is not a huge amount, but should be enough. Alright, so that is all set up and ready to go. So next up, we just have to put in the miners, which I have a blueprint for. Although I don't know if it's a very good blueprint. But we just pop that in. And then just get all these guys in. And then this last row is going to be difficult because of the stuff that's in the way there. Also, we need to be actually crafting the miners. So let's get some of those queued up and then turn off those. That'll let us queue up even more of these. This is another thing which I really should have automated like a billion years ago, but never got around to. Alright. So this is all going in. Then we need our second row. Where are we still? Yes, we still need to place more miners. We need one more row in here in order to cover up the rest of the patch. And then we can work on getting all this set up properly. Alright, so that is that. We have these 9 spare. And they can just go along like that. And our turret is fired, which means we're going to be under attack soon, probably. Alright, so what we need to do is we need to cut that off, send it up there, and now we're using both sides of the belt. Then we need to get those powered up. And now this has to go around up here. Oh, there come the biters. Ooh, that's not a great angle for them to be attacking from. Use a couple more lasers there. There we go. And that should be more secure. Okay, now they're attacking that for no reason. Which means I'm going to have to go out and stop them. Hello, Behemoth Spitter. Please go away. Alright. The Behemoth Spitter that decided to attack the train tracks is gone. Okay, now I need that to be a gate so that I can get in and out quickly. Alright, the rest of all this seems to be going fine. And I guess it's just restocking me of a whole bunch of random junk that I'm low on for whatever reason. Okay, so now we need to... We're going to need to expand our defenses up to here so that we can not get all this stuff destroyed. Where's the train loader that we have that's like reasonably compact? This is the hilariously massive one, which we don't need. This is the reasonably compact one. Oh, we actually need this station in first so that we can line it up properly. I guess we could just line the station up. Alright. Please go away. Why do I have a pistol in my hotbar? Please change to an actually effective weapon. Thank you. Alright, so we need a wall up here with laser turrets and power. Alright, hopefully that's enough. We might have to expand it out to the water in order to cover the train loop. So we have that. So now our trains can go here and turn around. Yeah, let's just expand this out a little bit more up that way. Probably don't need to go all the way. Just make sure that it's not super easy to flank around. And we'll expand it out a little bit over this way as well for the same reason. Alright. So then that all has to be connected up. And that should be, I mean, basically enough security to get this in. So we need a train stop. Where's that? There you are. Let's craft up a bunch of them. And then this can go in there. And I really need to organize these blueprints. Like 90% of these I have never used in a very long time. I should do that at some point. Alright, so that all goes in. now we just need to organize all of those up to a single belt. Oh, wait, don't go sideways like that. Go around like that. And then into that. And we now have these boxes filling up with copper. And I can't easily give them speed modules because we do not have functional production for those. But I can call this copper output. And now there's a train heading this way, which should be fine. I think we have enough copper trains already. Alright, so that is that. And the gun is just firing away, having a good old time. And it's getting constantly filled up. So that everything here should be all set up and ready to go. So unless some massive attack manages to get through the defenses, we should be fine. Looks like they are sending an attack. Let's see how that goes for them. They get pretty close. Yeah, they get through that turret. Let's just put another couple on that angle. And that should be all we need to do here. So we have a train which has just arrived, and it will be filling up. And once it's full, it'll go off and provide copper to everyone. So that should be all set and ready to go, I think. Unless something else has gone wrong. Why are you just sitting here doing nothing? That's a weird spot for you to be sitting, and potentially disruptive as well. So we'll send you at least a little bit forwards. Okay, so that's something. This whole section over here needs to, at the very least, be on its own block, and is going to realistically need more blocks on top of that. So that should be all good. Now, unless we get some alerts about a million destroyed stuff over there, we should be fine. Also, it looks like some speed modules did end up getting crafted. This used to be 52 missing, and now it's down to 50. So let's run up, get onto this walkway, which I forgot that I had, and just run back up to the factory and see what is going on up there. So up we go. Yeah, we're definitely crafting speed modules again. That's pretty neat. Alright. Just try to get straight through this old portion of the factory, which is sadly still being used for a lot of things because it's relatively easy to just add spaghetti there compared to adding the proper production up north. Alright, so now we're up here. Crude oil is still not going fast enough. We have a billion trains waiting at outputs and not getting anything. So they are filling up, and I mean this one is like 90% full. What are all these drones doing? they're so busy all the time, and I have no idea why. Let's see. So that is 9:59. I feel like that goes down very quickly. I don't know how that works either. Yet another thing that I need to look up at some point. Alright. So I have like a million drones flying around doing something. I have no idea what they're all doing. I assume it's useful. Hopefully they're not just carrying things in circles somewhere. That would be quite annoying. Alright, we still are very much just waiting on trains to get all the way filled up. Yeah, I think we just have to have that not be how they work. Although this one is almost full, so maybe it'll be fine. So you're at 98,000. And hopefully we'll be off filling up petroleum gas soon. Alright. Yes, you're heading off. Although, why did you get stuck immediately? I mean, it's because of this comedically long block, I guess. So all of the purple here is all one giant block. That needs to change. So first of all, let's get some just in... That's like one of the few spots that I can't get those to. So let's put it there instead. And then this is all also somehow the same block. So let's put some there. And let's get some in there as well, just for good measure. Alright, whatever it is, it seems to have worked. So that train is now bringing 100,000 crude oil up here, which should fill these 3 storage tanks, and then it should head out to immediately refill. So it's going to be a bit of a delay getting there, because the train system is very long and convoluted to get anywhere. But that's really not like the problem here. I mean, compared to how long it takes for them to fill up, the amount of time it takes for them to travel is basically nothing. And it's most of the way here. Just waiting for some traffic, and it'll be here any second. Probably. Where is it? It's still making its way over. Right, we are losing some stuff down here. That makes sense. I think that's probably fine, though. Alright, there's the crude oil train, which has finally figured out how to get up here. And we are now filling all this up and making petroleum gas for the first time in ages. So this should be a lot. I don't know how long exactly this will last, but hopefully it'll be a long time. So yeah, we are making petroleum gas, and I want to see how long it takes this to drain once it's all set up. So these are already empty, and the train is heading out. That was really quick. That was really quick. Like, suspiciously so. It should have had 100,000. And there's only like 60,000 accounted for here. Is there some other container somewhere else? That's weird. I guess it is going down pretty quickly. And we do have now tens of thousands of petroleum gas, which is pretty neat. So hopefully that will mostly resolve that problem. And we won't have to worry about it again. Though we're probably not, honestly. This is probably just straight up not enough. Do we have another train that's almost full? So this one is the same one that we just looked at. It's going to be mostly empty, but it's all the way up to 31k already, which is pretty good. Alright, so this train is about to leave. And let's follow it and see where it goes. I'm pretty sure what I want it to do is make plastic. So it's gonna go up. Yeah, it's gonna go and make plastic. So that should be fine. So it just does a quick loop around and is now up here. Alright, so this has a coal shortage, actually. Alright, that's surprising. I had not realized we were low on coal. Is that, like... Where actually is our coal patch? It's this over here. The trains, yeah, the trains are all fueled by solid fuel. It just seemed like the most simple thing. Alright, yes, the coal situation is pretty dire. We have... How much is even left in that patch? Can I see there? I mean, there's still 1 million left. But it's not exactly getting extracted quickly. So we're going to need to add a new coal train, probably. Because this is just kind of pathetic. Alright, so... coal. There's a 2 million patch there. There's a random biter's nest that's, I guess, technically across an ocean, but very close. Let's get rid of you. Alright. So that is all cleared out. That'll prevent them from spawning more. And then there's also these guys. I thought I had turrets up here that should be automatically dealing with that. Do I not have turrets up on that corner? Apparently not. Well, someone put one in then. Where can you go? You can go up there. That's a pretty secure spot. In you go. And we're going to need to craft some. Don't artillery also require visibility? Not that I know of. I mean, they've been firing along just fine as is. I mean, they have a maximum range for them to auto fire, but yeah, I mean they provide their own radar when they shoot. All right, so that is going, and we just need to provide a box to put some of these guys in so that the drone can come along and deliver it up there and get all of that settled. Alright, in the meantime, how is copper going? Has copper been improved by our new setup? Where even is the copper going? Oh, there's a coal patch I built over there. And another coal patch right there. That's actually pretty convenient. Let's hop over and grab that. It's by the water, so it's not like we're going to be... It's not like we're going to be building squares there super happily anyways. So we can put in a mine over there. Just gotta wait for some of these drones to deliver stuff for me. But I'm not gonna wait for too long. Let's just get moving. Don't get hit by a train. Make sure to stop and wait for them to pass. Alright, so here is a giant coal patch, which we could technically access, but there's squares there, so we're not going to. There's another similar one over here, where we have this built on top of it. And these seem to... Oh, these are output full. That makes sense. Okay. So they have all the inputs they need, actually, so that's fine. So then we can pop down here to this coal patch. And let's get the row in. And put in another row like that. And start... We really need to automate electric mining drills at some point. Because this is very, very annoying. Actually, yeah, let's just head over. Can we actually just set this entire thing up remotely? That would be convenient. Alright, so here we are. We have some free space up here where we tend to do all of this type of thing. We're going to plop down an assembly machine with the electric mining drill recipe. So that's plates, gear wheels, and circuits. So we just need 3 of those and 1 output. Oh, those can't be passive provider chests, obviously. Where's the requester check? I closed the map. I have no idea where I was. Okay, I was here. Alright, so you get to be requester chests. That one's a passive provider chest. And we're gonna have to wait for the drones to put them in. And also we need to get a power line to get all of that powered. Alright, so now we can call this, and you summon a stack of plates. You get a stack of gear wheels, and you get a stack of green circuits. And then you get reduced down to like a couple stacks. And we should be all good to go. Assuming we have gear wheels in the logistic storage, which we do. So now we have those automated. As long as we wait long enough for all these stuff to show up. Which should be any second now. But we're not going to stand there staring at it. We're going to go back to building this, with the ones that we had manually crafted. Okay, we also need drone coverage down here. Because that whole time I was doing that, I was not getting resupplies at all. And we need power. So you get connected up. And all the miners get connected up. And now it's just a matter of time. And it looks like they are getting crafted, because these are turning a light blue. Alright, so we just need... Let's request to have like a stack of them so that we can have those available for the future. For now, we are going to need to make a stop real quick. Alright, we need to do this from this side, I think. So this has to go like back here and in there, and just dismantle that electrical pole, and we will rebuild it slightly to the side. Alright, now we get a train stop and pop it in there. Build the train loader. Where is that? Here it is. Flip it horizontally so that it's aligned correctly, and place it in. Okay, we apparently need drone coverage over here as well. So that's like the basically optimal spot to put it so that it lines up with everything nicely. And then we connect it all up. So now this gets to be... Oh, I hit the wrong button. We need to do that. Rename this to coal input. Or no, coal output. That's important, so that the trains don't get confused. And now we just have to get all of this attached up. And we've got coal. So now we just need a couple more over here, I guess, to cover this area. And then power them all up. Alright, so that should be that patch basically 100% covered. And coal. Okay. So this, I think we need to give it a train limit of 1 so that this doesn't happen again. So both of those trains are waiting there. Alright, you just move on to the next thing, just so that we can get all of these trains functional again, and that should leave us with enough coal trains that one should make its way over here pretty soon. Alright, and this is filling up, so hopefully... Oh, we need to speed module. We should definitely have been speed modulating the copper too. So let's just get a bunch of those in so that this can all go faster. And ooh, this might. Yeah, so now with all those speed modules, we're also going to need faster belts, potentially. Hopefully this will solve the problem. And if it doesn't solve the problem, which looks like it doesn't, then we're going to need to just do some creative belting. Get this up onto the other side. Now we're using both sides of the belt. And let's have that be faster as well, just in case that makes a difference. And now we are outputting a whole bunch of coal. A whole bunch of yummy, yummy coal. So that is going, and that should help make plastic eventually. I would have thought there would be a train coming here by now. Oh, this doesn't use bulk inserters, so it's just very, very slow to load. Alright, let's just get those upgraded, just to prevent that from being an issue. So we do want this to be filling up, and actually like being used. Okay, for this one, since it's a raw resources situation, I think we want these to all fill up as much as they can. So let's... You could probably just copy-paste the settings using the whole shift right click left click thing, but we finished it anyways, so it's fine. Alright, we are still a whole bunch of speed modules short. And we still have no trains here. Alright, I think we just need an extra train. I was hoping we wouldn't have to put in an extra train, because the fewer trains, the less annoying everything is, but it's better to just have it. There we go. And you get to be assigned to the coal group. And automatic. Off you go. Carrying a very small amount of coal, but at least it's something. And then next time it stops by, it'll hopefully get plastic going again. So let's head... Actually, we can just look there. I keep forgetting that you basically just don't have to walk anywhere in this game, ever. So we did get a coal delivery at some point up here, which means we're making plastic. Oh, there's a big attack. Why? Who's causing that? It's this corner still. Yeah, this corner just keeps getting hit. It doesn't have an artillery piece. That might be a bit of the problem. Do I have artillery in this one? I do. So I would have thought... I guess the range on artillery just isn't as big as I thought it was. So we're going to have to take some shots out at you guys. Get rid of this nest. Alright. That is that nest dealt with. And then there's also this one to worry about. So there you go. I don't like the looks of that. Also, how do I have 12 artillery pieces with range on this? That's insane. Alright, there's just nothing there. Alright. Renegade, hello. Nice to see you. We are fixing the raw resource shortage in this factory. We have already added oil, copper, and coal. And hopefully that will trickle through and get everything going again. We're still super low on modules. Where's our module production? It's this one. So you are still low on red circuits. Unsurprisingly, we have plenty of blue circuits, honestly, and green circuits are also doing fine. So, red circuits. We make them there and there. Over here, they are producing. So that's good. Over here, they are not. So we are short on wire, which means that copper continues to be the problem. So this is producing wire. just not... Yeah, this is producing wire. Maybe has copper plate shortages. Our other wire production is over here, and it's also producing wire. Alright, I mean, it all looks good. Just like at a glance at the moment, everything is working. Which is annoying because it means that I don't know what the actual problem is. I'm going to have to find it later. Alright, so copper plates are not getting produced 100% of the time. So we still have issues with that. We can throw modules over here at this patch. The issue at hand is basically that the module production is somewhat intermittent. Like, sometimes it is working, sometimes it just isn't. Now, we might have already fixed the problem. And that's the problem, is that I have made improvements, and I've checked, and now it's temporarily working. But I don't know if it's just temporarily working or if it's going to be working from now on. So I don't even know if there's anything that needs to be fixed. Yep. Modules are currently the issue. Also this. What is wrong with you? Please... How did this all not get connected up properly? This also needs to be connected up to there. Please. Please, just go across. Alright, so we have to take that out. Put that in. Wait, that didn't even connect, did it? Alright. So we've got that. And then we have that. And then we need to connect those across. Wait, that didn't even work. How is this so hard to get these power poles placed correctly? Oh, alright, there we go. That's all good. I don't think it was, strictly speaking, necessary to do that. I think they had some other way of getting in, but now we have that all fixed. Yeah, I could do that. I guess the problem is I would need to be able to trace it back to wherever the actual root problem is, which would be a bit annoying. So coal production over here is... Oh wait, actually we have a deadlock. Where are you? Here? Alright, so how did that happen? That's a chain signal. You shouldn't have allowed this to get in. Okay, wait. Was it that caused the problem? Alright, I think that signal needs to not exist. And I'm gonna have to run over there and fix things manually, I think, which is annoying. Alright, off we go. Okay, so here we are. We've got all these trains. So this one is in the intersection, which it definitely should not be. So this one we need to just drive you out of the way. And then set you to automatic so you can get going again. Alright, I think I fixed it. Although it's hard to say that when I don't know what the problem was. But, let's see, that is that. Are you... You need to be a chain signal, I think. You are both chain signals. This isn't even connected to anything. Let's remove it. Alright, I think that intersection is fixed. Now, are there any other deadlocks anywhere? Looking for trains that are just stopped in the middle of intersections mostly. No, everything looks normal. Everything looks normal. Alright. So that's good. What are all these guys doing? These guys are supplying green circuits. That's fine. You can definitely do that. We've got all sorts of stuff down here supplying all sorts of different things. We have our supply of electric mining drills now, so we don't have to worry about that in the future. So, this red circuit production has stopped. Still no copper. And this one is still going, which is good for it. And then down here we have 100 priority and it isn't getting anything. So these trains are set to deliver every 2 minutes no matter what. So you'd think that that would be fine. So you're going along. This one still isn't getting any wires. So I think we need to set up the train priority setter on wires. So let's find that. Because if we go over here... No, this is actually also very low on wires, so that's probably not even a solution. I think we just need more wire production, which probably means we need more copper plate production, because this is all very sketch. Alright. Let's see. This is actually... Wait, this is suspicious. Why is this center one filling up longer than the outside ones? I would not expect that to happen. It looks... It's got to be like uneven usage somehow, but I don't think that really matters. So we do have a wire delivery over to here, which is just going to keep this going. Alright, so actually, do these wire things get saturated at all? No, it doesn't look like it. Looks like they're all pretty much empty, and yeah, they're just filling up another train instantly. And this one, they all look equal. The supply of copper plates looks uninterrupted, although these are module Mark 1s. So that's an easy improvement, but it would slow the output speed, which might not be what we want. But if this is about to run out of copper, which it looks like it is... Okay, some of these are output full, actually. But inconsistently. So this is about to run out of copper plates. Is another train of copper showing up? No. So we have 1 waiting in an input, 2 waiting at outputs. So that is an issue. So yeah, if this empties out, then we'll know that copper plate production is a large part of the issue at least. if not the entire issue. But these last boxes are lasting quite a while. But they're definitely going to run out soon. And this is no sign of any progress. These aren't even this one isn't even especially close to being full. And the other one, which is over here, is also, I mean, it's closer, but not very close. And so we're still short copper ore. We need more copper ore in order to get all of this running. And now that wire spot that we were looking at should probably be stopped by now. Zoom in, please. Yeah, so this is now dead, and that's the source of the problem. We need even more copper ore somehow. So where was that patch? It was this one down here. So this copper ore patch basically just needs modules. So let's send any speed modules we end up crafting down to here. And then upgrade the belt network. Alright, so now we're going to need 1,000,000,001 speed modules in order to get anything done, which is very much a chicken and egg problem, although we are producing some, because a shipment of red circuits did get made, but it's already running out. It's been like 5 seconds. Alright, so this should be backing up in terms of the productivity modules. So hopefully that'll stop burning them. We have a lot of productivity modules. Now we just need this speed module set up to go through. And it is working. It's only a single machine, which is not ideal. I really need to expand this setup, but it's very complicated and has all sorts of circuit stuff. So I don't really want to dive back into this to expand it, but I probably should at some point. Like if we just had even like 2 end product assemblers, it would be a lot better. Alright, are these at least getting any? No, even the faster belts aren't showing up yet. This whole area is in drone coverage, so that's not the issue. The issue is just that the drones are very far away. And yeah, so they are very slowly getting upgrades. Coming across this area, which is a bit of a weird trip for them to make. I guess I have a buffer chest here. Yeah, I've got a buffer chest down there, so that's what's causing that. Alright, is there even yet another copper source that we can find? There's that gigantic one, which is also by stone, but there's also... it's also kind of far away. Is there one that's just like directly adjacent? Is there a copper in here anywhere? Turn off pollution is making it hard to see. We've got coal, we've got a little bit of stone. We've got basically nothing over that way. So yeah, I guess we're going to have to head down to that copper node, which is going to be a bit annoying to grab. Because of how far away it is. But seems like we're probably just gonna have to do it. And this, the upgrades are starting to trickle in, so that's fine. Alright, so now we just have to take the long journey south to get to that node. It's going to be quite the long journey indeed. I also have 50 speed modules that I can just throw into things myself if I need to. Alright, so we just have to walk along here. Also, how is research going? It's been a long time since I've actually checked. It is progressing, not terribly quickly. The atomic bomb is not an easy research to complete, so that's not surprising. Alright, so where do we need to get? We need to get all the way over here, which is like past that copper spot, which is basically empty by now. Past this iron spot. And then to the west. Alright, so let's head on down. And almost got hit by a train there. So this is technically still running. But, I mean, just these 3 machines. So this is gonna be dead real soon. Alright, so then we head down a little bit further past this iron node. Alright, so now we're here. Now we're here and we just need to take train off of this, so I guess just something like that. And something like, wait, actually, we need this to connect in like back here so that we don't have to go through this station in order to get to it. Alright, so we're gonna have to do some signaling to make sure that this actually works and doesn't cause problems. So let's first just get these organized. So that just goes over that way, as does that. Alright, so we need signals there and there, and there, and hang on, how does this work? So this goes in that way. So that needs to be like that in order for it to all be facing the right direction. Then we need a signal out the other side. And then we need every signal going into this intersection, which is that one and that one, to be path signals. And that should be all good. I don't know what's going on in here, but oh, I accidentally disconnected it. That's going to cause some problems. There we go, reconnected. Alright, so that should be all set up now. It's probably fine as is. And we just need to head off that way. Let's turn pollution mode back on. So yeah, we're going to be a little bit past our pollution cloud, but which means there will be biters out there which haven't reacted to our presence already. Alright, so now we just head over this way. And let's get all this set up. There's a biter nest right there, which means at this point, actually have these outside of the train tracks so that we can put drone ports next to them as our next step. So we need to bring this back to the power grid. Like that. And then, hopefully, find our way into the drone network so that we can have an artillery piece firing across all of this. Because we rely on the drone network to feed our artillery. Is it a mega base yet? I don't know what the definition of mega base is. It's definitely a base which is very large, so maybe? It may or may not be a mega base. Alright, so we have to get rid of that nest first and foremost in order to get over there. So let's start up our defenses. Get this whole region powered. Like that. And now put in our laser turrets. And just like I was kind of worried about, they have immediately responded. And because they're so close, they're going to just try to attack me here. Alright, so I think in that case, it's not all behemoths. That is true. It is 21% behemoths currently. Alright, let's get a train stop in. Call this, like, south. Let's just call it artillery spot. I don't know. A base way smaller than this, and it was all behemoths on an old patch. That's terrifying. Alright, so now we have to find you. And take that out. And give you artillery spot. Which you will wait for 5 seconds of inactivity. You went out of your way to cause pollution and evolution. That seems strange. I don't know why you would do that. Although I guess just for the challenge. Alright, so we're gonna need probably, actually, no, that wall is not helpful. We need a wall up there to protect those areas as well. Trees being in the way, yeah, that makes sense. Trees are definitely pretty annoying. Alright, so that wall is mostly in, as long as I just get that corner gap out of the way. And hopefully that should defend me from the biters attacking from the north. And we do have our artillery train heading down this way. Hopefully it'll have full supplies. And also hopefully these defenses will be able to hold out. If not, then we're going to have an issue. Alright, so we do have drone coverage out here, which is good. We have the train incoming. It's pretty close now. It just has to go around the somewhat ridiculous setup that we have out there. And this might be too close for the turret, for the train turret actually. We'll have to see. Alright, here you are. Yeah, you're shooting away at other stuff over there. That might be a problem. Let's just make sure that they can't come around the corner there. Which, oh yeah, they definitely would have done that. Need more laser turrets. Oh, they're coming from everywhere all at once. Alright, cool. How much ammo do you have? You are full. That's good. So this whole cliff situation is definitely helping. But I think we need to properly have coverage there. Okay, so those guys are all in, and now they can really shoot at the ones trying to spit at me from across the cliff. Alright. It's now decided to wipe out the base that's immediately there. And we just have to wait a bit. I could make this go faster by having multiple artillery wagons. And in fact, I probably should do that. Can I find... where is that? It's there. We can craft another one as is. And we're going to have to, first of all, stick that on, and then we're going to have to go up to the reload spot, which is all the way up here, because this is where I was when I was setting that up. Where are you? Over here. And then I'm going to need to copy that and paste it there. And put in a power line, apparently, because it somehow managed to miss all of that. Alright, so now, the next time we do this, we should have a second artillery wagon, which should mean that this kills a lot faster, and we have to wait a lot less time and defend against a lot fewer biter waves, hopefully. Okay, do I also have to set you... no, you're preset to auto-targeting anyways. Alright, and the laser turrets are pretty handily getting rid of these guys. We're down to below half ammo. Still getting major attacks. But the drones seem to be up to the task of repairing it. Alright. Any second now. I say any second now. I have no idea how close this is to being done. We're getting rid of these guys down here, which is going to take a little bit. And more big attacks. Now we're just getting rid of some of the worms. Alright, just a random individual biter. It's still going to be quite a while before this is even secure enough to, like, comfortably start moving the rest of the way towards the copper patch, which is still, like, fairly distant from us at the moment. Alright, so you are now static. Do I need a radar here, actually? I might need a radar here. Let's pop one in. We're a bit close to the edge of the map, at least to the west. I haven't placed a radar in ages. I don't really know what these do, but now we have one, just in case it's needed. Alright. So, we are still getting attacked here, but we aren't firing at anything. I think we need to press forwards then. So let's tear all that down and move this forwards. Hello, thank you. Like that. Alright, so the tracks go in a little bit further and we will be just north of the copper patch. And then we're going to have to set up another security box over here. So this should be a good enough spot. Let's actually make the loop around. And then we can have our security box inside the loop. Alright, so now we have this. There sure are a whole lot of biters there. There sure are a whole lot of biters out there. I hope they don't decide to attack while I'm defenseless here. That would be a problem. Alright, so this goes in. We're going to call this artillery spot, because why not? And then we need to get the wall. Alright, and the wall is going to have to go all the way back to the artillery spot, which I don't even think we have enough stone for. But that's like the most important part. I think we need to get a corner in there. And then that loops back. And this goes a bit further. And then comes down this way. Alright, so we have all that. Now we need our power coverage. And then we will then put the laser turrets in. Once we connect these power poles up to outside power so that they can actually be used. Alright, so this goes back all the way along to here. And so now that is connected up. You got set to manual mode at some point, so that's what happened. So you can go to automatic because you're going to need to go and resupply. And then we're going to have to run forwards. Actually, we need to bring drone coverage. That's also very important. Otherwise, we won't get resupply of fresh laser turrets and walls and such, and it'll really suck. Alright, so this should go all the way forwards to, like, probably all the way up to there will be necessary. Alright, now we put in our laser turrets. And hopefully this doesn't immediately instigate an attack, but probably will. Alright, so this all goes in. And all nice and defended. There we go. That's basically all of the laser turrets we have access to here. So if any get destroyed, that's going to be an issue. Okay, so now we have to dismantle this stop so that the artillery train will come up here. So, trains with this stop. You're coming along. You have 63 ammo in the first one, 30 in the second one. So that's like 99 ammo. That should be enough. And you're coming down here. So it would be really cool if drones could come in and give me some more laser turrets. Because again, we only have like 3 of them. So if any get destroyed, then the entire defense line might collapse. Or if we need to spam some from being attacked in an unexpected direction, that would also be an issue. So, are these guys... These guys are mostly carrying rails, and they're going very, very slowly, because they're passing over this whole area, which is not set up properly. There's also a biter nest there, which is not ideal. Alright. The artillery is here, and it's going to start firing. So now we have 2 of them. Should be twice as fast. We should be able to get through this pretty effectively. Assuming they can't beat our laser turret defenses, which so far have always held. So far we haven't had a situation where they straight up got through defended areas, but it's also been somewhat close at times. Alright, here comes a big attack. I'm going to run forwards and help. Alright. Not even close. Although that laser turret was almost destroyed. Alright, I'm going to put in one more. And we also only have 4 walls currently. It is also significantly less than ideal. Alright, we're going. The artillery is doing well, getting through all sorts of stuff. And the turrets are being repaired, it looks like. Yeah, so the turrets are being repaired faster than they're being damaged. At least as long as they keep having these decent-sized gaps. There we go. We are starting to run a bit low on ammo for the artillery. So that's a problem, but hopefully... Yeah, okay, they just left. You're definitely not done. You're definitely not done here, artillery wagon. Please come back. Alright. Well, we should at least be secure here for the moment. We are getting our laser turrets back. I think I might want another buffer chest out here. Yeah, let's get you in there and give you the basic group, which is going to take forever to fill, but it will mean we have a good solid supply of resources out here for everything. Alright. Speed modules still getting chipped away at. Down to only 92 short. And have these gotten any? Yes, there are technically a couple speed modules that have been delivered out here. So that should be improving our copper supply. Alright, so the artillery wagon is going to reload. And then we still don't have enough laser turrets to like hop down to the copper patch down there and properly defend it, so we're gonna have to wait a little bit more for that. So we're just gonna hang out for a bit. In the meantime, I guess we can look back up here. What is all this? Is this, I assume... Yeah, they're using storage chests for various reasons. Probably just delivering random junk to them. What is all that stuff, and why is it going to storage chests? don't understand. Like, where is all this even coming from, is what I want to know. Like, we have 26 of those there, and another 40-some apparently on the way. Like, why, though? Alright. Yeah, the logistics drones are very, very heavily being used at the moment, which is pretty likely that we just lose a whole bunch down here. Alright, you stop. You hang out there for a bit. Let the guns do their thing. So we have another good supply of ammo. So this should have us be entirely in the clear. And the number of walls we have is still not enough to like fully envelop the copper patch. You need so many walls to do anything. It's kind of rough. Alright, yeah, so the biters are not an issue as long as I'm in the general vicinity. And even if I'm not, the Roboport can probably keep up with it. Alright, is this... Yeah, so this hardly has any of the stuff requested. Actually, one thing I can do is I don't need grenades. I haven't thrown a grenade in absolutely ages, so I can set that down to 0. So that's something, and I should probably go through here. I mean, that's fine, just being as it is. What else can I get rid of that I don't need? Just basic inserters. Yeah, let's get rid of those and just use the better ones. And most of the rest of this stuff is pretty much just like a single stack of things that I want a single stack of. And let's see, is there anything in here? 4 stacks of rails is a lot, but I also regularly run low, so I don't want that to be improved. Okay, I think we can move plastic down to the crafting side and not have it be in basic. How do we get rid of you? How do we just have you not be requested at all? 0 to infinity, maybe? Alright, that should be fine. All the rest of this stuff is building materials that I regularly use, so I don't want to mess with that. Why is this calling for more plastic? Oh, I can do right-click to clear. Got it. So now this is the only thing that uses plastic. Alright, I think that's pretty much solid improvement. I might decrease the amount of concrete, but probably not. Alright, the artillery... The artillery is just chillin'. Alright, so you can go back to automatic mode and just do whatever it is that you do. And we are back up to a more or less full stock of supplies, which means it is time to start using those supplies. So we head down here, and we start building a wall around this copper patch. Give a bit of space around the edges. And I don't think we're going to worry about the stone there. There's plenty of other stone patches if we need them. Okay, and then we don't need that to be enclosed. We can just have it connect up with the wall up north. Like that. So now that is fully enclosed and protected once all this stuff gets built. And apparently this is like exactly as many walls as we have. So that's neat. Alright, so now we are just going to give the drones a brief second to charge up. And then start running power again. So we run the power line around the edges. Then we get the laser turrets in. And have them relatively dense for security against behemoth biter swarms. I normally do like 2 per turret. Also, there's just a small pond in here for some reason, which, if this were satisfactory, you could use pure ingot recipes and it would be great, but it isn't, so you can't. And it's just sort of mildly annoying. Alright. So that should be all nice and secure. So next step is we want a self-loading gun in here. We can just pop that in there. And it will keep this area under lockdown. Next step is a miner row. So we get these, we rotate them correctly, and we just start placing them in. Like there. And we're gonna have to we're just gonna bulldoze over the pond. Yeah, we're just gonna ignore the pond and just pretend it isn't there. That's what landfill is for. And if we're not careful, we're gonna accidentally pick up some stone in here on these like corner pieces. That's not ideal. That's not ideal at all. We're gonna have to be careful about that. And finish this off, which the miner rows we have aren't really an ideal size for finishing it off, so I guess we're just gonna have to do some overlap. So you just go like this, and okay, we're technically missing a little bit up there, but I don't care enough to fix that. Okay, and apparently all of these are getting filled in except for these 2 down here, which we might need. Yeah, we need to bring drone coverage further south. So you need to get powered up as well. And then we need a drone port, like, that's a good spot for it, I guess. Alright, so yeah, you are going to be mining stone. You are going to be mining stone. So we can't have either of you. The rest of these are all good. Okay. So we have that. Now we have to take that out and not accidentally deconnect the entire thing. So you can just loop in like that, and then also go down like that to get that laser turret, which is hopefully not necessary. Then we're going to need to actually push this just ever so slightly further out. So that can go up like that, and I really need to get better at just drawing straight lines. That's something which would be very helpful. So now we get a train speed loader, which rotate like that, and pop it in. Alright, so we have this, which means that this, instead of artillery spot, is going to be a copper output. Alright, now we just need to head down here and figure out how we're getting all of this copper up there. So I think the easiest way to do it would be to just have it go up in individual rows. So if we have like that, and like that, and like that, and like that, then we have 4 rows of copper which can go up and into these 4 rows of belts that we have. So let's just bring those down. Ooh, that artillery gun firing absolutely jump scared me a little bit. So that goes up there. This comes around up there. This goes in to point the other way up to there. And then this one, I guess we need to technically get it around a little bit so that it doesn't go through the drone port. And then I missed his turn. It goes up there. And then we have this final extra one, which I don't know how we're going to deal with this. You can just go up here and over. Okay, I do want these to be distributed a little bit so that it's slightly more even. Although I don't know how... I had a method of... Did I ever blueprint that? I had like a 4-to-4 balancer at some point, I think. I've forgotten what it is. So we just need to send this tree in. I guess we'll just stick it in there. And it had something to do with underground belts or something, but doing it this way is fine too. And now we have already a cargo wagon of copper that is filling up nice and quick. Okay, so what I can do in the short term at least is just split this over and bring it across there and then up into there. Please go in properly. Like that and like that. So now this belt is going into both sides and it should be all balanced properly. Alright, so now we have that. And we are losing laser turrets in some places. Alright, I was really hoping the artillery would be long enough range to just like automatically get rid of anybody who's in the pollution cloud, but that's obviously not the case. So we're gonna have to do something better about that at some point. This one is technically getting some copper, so I guess it can continue to exist. This one isn't, though. So that's a little bit weird, but whatever. We have our good solid supply of copper now. And this gun has been firing, and I don't think... I guess we have seen retaliation down here. Alright, so that should be should be all good to go. So we might want an additional train. You can never have too many trains. Actually, you can, technically, but the way I'm designing things, I have absolutely enormous capacity for extra trains. So it's realistically not going to be an issue ever. Unless I were to do like 10 extra trains for every single necessary one, then we might have an issue, but I'm just not anywhere close to doing that. So just whenever I build a new station, I also build a new train to go with it. And then I think we want to make those all fill up to the max, because it's just copper ore. That blueprint is so I don't create a trillion and one, like, I don't know, blue circuits or something hilariously expensive. Alright. So now this is filling up, and we need plenty of space because the distance is enough that, like, it could potentially be an issue. It probably wouldn't realistically be an issue, but it's like theoretically possible, right? So just have the extra space, and then it won't be an issue. Alright, we're down to only 75 missing speed modules, which is great progress. Although we are still just chronically low on red circuits. Just 100% of the time. So they are being produced bit by bit. Although actually, is this functioning? So what's your problem? You have no recipe set. How did you break? Oh, because this hasn't gotten filled up to a high enough number? Right, that's fine. It's doing what it's supposed to be doing, and I'm just not going to worry about it. In the meantime, there is a train here. So it's going to fill up. And I don't think this is necessary, but if we just upgrade all the belts back to like there-ish, it'll at least make the loading process a bit sooner in terms of like emptying out these buffers. So that should be helpful. Probably not actually going to cause a significant difference at the end of the day, but there we go. That is even more copper. Even more copper. Now, if we go up here to investigate the copper wires... Actually, wait, what is this? Oh, you're missing one thing. That's fine over there. So copper wire. Still short copper plates. Copper plates, where are you? Yep. It's working on it. We're still a bit low over here. Which I guess isn't surprising since this makes a pretty large amount. And I think it's also the second priority. Is this one over here also low on copper? We can upgrade these to be more efficient. So that's, I guess, what we need to do next. Is we need to get Mark III modules on all of these so that the copper supply we have gets stretched a little further. And we do have a lot of productivity modules, so we should actually just be able to do that without having to wait for it or anything. Where's the other one? Over here. Okay, and this one does already have Mark III modules for some reason. I guess that's fine. Alright, so copper is being supplied. Should all be good to go for there. Now it's going to take a while for the train to fill up and make a trip. So the actual impact of that is going to be quite delayed. But it'll get there eventually, and that's all that matters. So let's run over here. This iron spot is still working just fine. A couple around the edges are empty, but that's expected. Yikes, that train moves fast. That train moves real fast. Alright, so now we run back up and figure out what the problem is now. If there's anything else we can fix that needs it. I guess we should check to see if the crude oil supply is good enough now. Alright, let's expand this path a little bit more. It's nice having a path to walk on. We're just gonna send this, I guess, through the middle of this factory and connect up to there. So now we have that path connected. Alright. So a little bit more north and then we will be at the petroleum factory. So let's see what's going on here. Alright, it looks like we have got plenty. We have mostly full stocks there. Good solid half full train. And thousands of petroleum gas in reserve. And alright, so yeah. Crude oil supply has been well and truly fixed. So that is huge. We're gonna have to wait a little bit to see how the copper supply responds, whether it's good or not. What is this? Why is there... Oh dear. Oh dear. That's not good. Alright, we have a crisis. We officially have a absolute calamity. We've got stone in the coal belts. How has that happened? Alright, so this train here... This train here must be responsible. So you are a coal input. So, okay, there are two ways this can happen. The first is the easier to check, which is that the coal nodes themselves got infected somehow. It's not the case here. And where is our second coal node? Already forgotten where I put it. Oh, it's this one here. Alright, so you're doing fine as well. So the other thing which could happen is that somewhere is receiving stone, but is labeled as a Hjorvir station, which means random stuff can stop. Yes. Here. So this station here is the problem. So this needs to be labeled as, like, what, stone output? How did that happen? So yeah, basically, any random train just had a chance of arbitrarily choosing to stop here, which fills it up with stone and breaks the entire system. So, not only is the plastic jammed, it's entirely possible that other things are as well, and I just have no way of knowing if that's the case or not. So we're just going to have to fix that real quick. So we start by just unjamming this. We fixed the source of the problem, so now we just have to find out all the various locations where it may have spread to. And that is going to involve filling our trash slots with stone. Why would any train go to a random named station? So it doesn't go to a randomly named station. It goes to specifically a station named Hjorvir, which I don't know why it's called that. It's too late to fix it at this point. But these are basically meant to be unoccupied stations that don't do anything. So if for whatever reason the train can't get to the station it wants to go to, because it's full or whatever, it'll go to one of these unoccupied stations and wait for a little bit and then try to schedule it again. So what happened is that one of those stations accidentally, I didn't rename the stone output from the default to stone output, so it just was set up to that a station might choose that particular Hjorvir stop to go to instead of some other one. So that's what happened. And now we just have to finish grabbing all of these stone bricks out here. Like that. Alright, so the boxes are now empty. We need to let our trash slots empty out a bit. And where on earth is all of this stone meant to go to? I have storage boxes, but not that many. Let's put down a couple more. So now we have those, which should hopefully take some stone. Alright, so now we have this bit of stone left. Okay, there's no more stone left in the boxes, so now we just run down to the end of the belts and clean these up. Alright. It's an absolute swarm of drones. You don't normally see quite this many drones all in one place doing the same thing, but that's what happens when you have to move thousands upon thousands of stone. Alright, now I have to get in onto this belt and clear it out. Alright, so that's that problem solved. And I guess that might be why we're doing so well on crude oil, if this has been stopped like this for a while. So we've fixed the plastic. And let's make this an underground pipe so I can walk through here. It's constantly been annoying to me that I haven't been able to. Missed a few rows on top. Oh, yes, I did. Thank you for mentioning. There we go. Get rid of that, and we're clear. Alright, so we should be good to go now. And we're just going to be dumping a whole bunch of junk into this. Now I need to figure out what to do with all of this stone. I've got at least a full storage chest's worth, which is probably fine. I mean, I have a lot of storage chests. So it's probably not going to immediately cause any issues. But I would like to use that. I mean, it is still several thousand stone that would otherwise be wasted. So what I can do is, at least in theory, I can just go requester chest. Actually, no. I've done this before, and I always thought it would work, and it's always been a terrible idea. So I'm just not going to do that. We'll deal with that stone probably never. Alright, so over here, this still has plastic, so that's good. This didn't get interrupted from that. We had pretty big plastic supplies, so that's probably was just able to last long enough. Then let's check, is the copper supply being fixed yet? It's still pretty dicey. Over there, and over here. Also not incredible. Alright, while we're at it, let's just try to scan for anything else that was infected by stone. I don't think there's anything, just because I think we probably caught it pretty early, based on the fact that plastic hadn't run out anywhere. So it's pretty likely that we're fine, but it's going to be hard to tell. This is all good. This is all doing fine. This is backed up, which is nice. Means we've got plenty of that. Alright, I think we're fine. After... It's only been a quick scan, but I'm pretty sure we caught everything. And so now we just need to figure out if there's anything more that needs to be done to fix this. Alright, so this has, for some reason, swapped over to productivity modules, which I definitely don't want it to do, because we have plenty of productivity module Mark IIIs anyways. But it's not producing because of red circuit shortages as usual. Alright, is there anything we can do just quickly to make this better? I guess we might technically be able to upgrade this to speed, to change this to speed module so that it just goes faster, but I mean the wire supply is already bad enough that I don't think I want that. So we need to just continue working on improving the copper supply. So this did get a shipment there. It's got another train on the way already. Alright, we have trains heading to outputs, we have trains waiting at outputs, we have a couple trains heading to inputs, but not really that many. Is this gonna last? Yeah, it looks like it might last all the way through, which is nice. Actually, where am I standing? I'm standing over here by this. Alright, that's fine. Yeah, the plastic did get a little low over here, but not to a concerning extent. We've even got spare crude oil. That's great. So I guess the upside of the plastic production stopping is that everything that... Okay, what's that? That's bad. That's bad. Where? In here? How did that happen? How did you get all the way in here? This is like super in the middle of the factory. I mean, I guess we'll spam some laser turrets. And the ones that we had already dealt with it. But where did that come from? Am I missing something? How did those biters get there? That's an insane thing for them to do. Like, did they come from here and just walk past that and that? Alright, over here. We've got this. These defenses are like real bad. Let's get some... Let's get some forward in front of the solar panels instead of just like using the solar panels as walls for no good reason. So we have that in. And then we get a wall, which I continue to be very bad at drawing straight lines, but it's fine. Okay, they do apparently attack all the way down this entire row, so let's get some more down there, and then connect the wall back to that, so that it can't be flanked. Then we continue dragging this wall up this way, just in case, although it doesn't look like they attack up this way. They might now that I've changed things. Alright, so that should all be in and nice and secure. As long as we don't miss any corners. that should prevent that. But there's still the mystery of how on earth they got in here. It's like, that is genuinely completely insane. Also, how is there crude oil there? I've never noticed that. I've simply never noticed that crude oil location. Okay, I think what we could do is just like, because if currently the problem is that our pollution cloud extends past the range of our turrets. So if we just had like a turret randomly here or something, then it would cover this entire area and wipe out anything that could be in our pollution cloud. So that could be fun, just as a convenient way of dealing with that side forever, because I don't really intend to be expanding out that way much more. So let's head down there and set that up. Just like an isolated turret, which just clears out any biters within the cloud. Alright, so now we have to walk all the way down there, which at this point I should really get some form of convenient transportation, but it's just kind of hard to maneuver because there's so many walls and stuff that like we would just be constantly running into things if I had a car or whatever. Alright, so we want to just like put turrets like here maybe as well. Just completely cut off the biters' access to the pollution cloud itself. And hopefully that'll basically stop them from ever doing anything again. Now the downside is we're going to have to get drone coverage out here. Alright, so that brings us out to this spot. And actually, we could make this a job for the artillery wagon. That would require bringing train lines out here, which I don't really want to do either. I don't know, it's probably necessary at some point. Let's see here. We don't even have train lines anywhere close to this general vicinity, though. Because what I could do is I could just have the train lines go out here, just have a stop, have the artillery shoot a bit, and then loop around to the other ones. Alright, so how do I even want to approach this? Do I still have that turret box blueprint? Yes, I do. Alright, because I'm pretty sure I'm close enough that the biters might get upset with me if I try to just like build a fortified area over here. Alright, yeah, let's just do the isolated self-loading gun, which is going to need to be even more secure than that. It's definitely going to need, like, all sorts of security in order to not die. Alright, this is a ridiculous way of building, because I did not plan at all. There's a minimum range for that. Yeah, I'm not so much worried about getting rid of this one specifically, as much as just like getting rid of everything in this general vicinity in general. If that makes sense. So now we just have to connect this up to... Yeah, I think it's pretty far. Or like, it's not like It's not like it has to be just point-blank range. Use a rocket. I'm going to be completely honest, I have never once used a rocket. I do not know how those work. Alright, so that is that. And now... Oh, we are short on the... We shouldn't be. There should be... We should have access to that. A missile launcher in the pistol slot? Ah, I see. Alright. Yeah, so I can't craft those without explosives. Yeah, it's fine. We are just gonna... Let's see. Minimum range is 32. Turret range is 24. So it's probably far enough. It's probably far enough. And let's also make sure that that goes in just for the sake of having it like that. Alright, so this should be secure enough to deal with all of this. And this doesn't provide its own pollution cloud, right? I don't think. Because it's not... I don't actually know how pollution clouds work. You'll need one for the atomic bomb? Yeah, that makes sense. We'll figure that out once we have that. In the meantime, do I have any artillery shells just like in my inventory? No, I do not. Alright. So we're just going to leave you here. Oh, 0 in logistics storage. That's bad. Our artillery shell production has failed. Why? You aren't getting any radars. Okay. There's only one on the way, despite the fact that we have 500 in storage. And I've asked for 50. Why? I should have like 1 billion radars, right? I have this whole thing up here. Okay. Apparently I just never connected this up to the drone network. So let's get you guys in. And that should do that. Alright, so we should have more than enough radars because this produces them. That's the entire reason I have that, is specifically so that's not a problem. Yeah, you need radars for artillery shells, so it's sort of just like a thing that you actually do technically need to have a fair amount of. And I figured may as well go overkill. Alright, so now this is going to receive its first shell, fire like once, and now this biter swarm, which is fortunately a pretty small one, is going to come in. And I suspect the lasers I have aren't going to be correctly placed to deal with this best. Alright. It does end up working out, but I want a couple more on this side. Alright, so that angle isn't going to be an issue. Actually, they're... Okay. I'm not sure if they were ignoring us until I got too close, or if they were just going at a weird angle. But that's that covered. And obviously if they come from that angle, we're completely secure because of all of those. Alright, so this gun should be receiving more shells than it is. I guess it just takes a long time to craft them, and a whole bunch of other places probably need it if we ran out. So I guess we're just going to leave that there and come back to it if we get the alerts that a whole bunch of stuff has been destroyed. Then we'll return to that. And the idea is that that gun will just sit there and clear out any biters in that area, which should prevent them from getting close to the base. And then we're going to run down here and do the same thing, like in this vicinity. So let's grab a power pole and bring this down this way. Alright, so this is... Okay, that was definitely too close. Where's that blueprint? Where is that blueprint? I really need to be able to find this faster in case I need to panic place one. Alright, in you go. And that didn't trigger an immediate attack. But it is apparently close enough that the big worms can shoot it, which is not good. So I guess we're just gonna have to trigger that attack. It's kind of a shame that there just happen to be biters in like all the spots where I want to be building this stuff. You get a self-loading gun in. And we're going to need to connect this up to the drone network as well. And we're also going to need to actually get ammo there fast before... Alright, let's get laser turrets in to deal with these random biters before they cause a problem. Alright, there we go. That's that. And did this get connected up? It did. Alright, so these are they're just going to keep chewing on this. Can I just, like, put a line of walls in front that maybe it'll target those instead? No, it's still just going for the guns, which makes sense. We really need to just be able to get rid of those. And also, I just cleverly led those biters around to the more vulnerable portions of the base. Alright, is this really just, like, exactly within range? I think we're, like, exactly within range. If we just take out this first row... Yeah. Okay, wait, maybe not? We really need to get rid of that worm in particular. Alright, it does look like that succeeded, and it is no longer attacking us. So, now we need to make this whole situation way more secure. So we get all those in. We get a good, solid line of laser turrets. And hopefully not close enough to trigger that worm. Also, hopefully you will just shoot at it and destroy it. No, you shot at something else in that same base, which is fine. Alright, let's also get a little bit of coverage over this way just in case. And then let's see if we can push down there without angering this worm. I really wish you could see a radius of where it could fire at. It's literally just twice as long as our laser turrets. So yeah, over here it should be fine. It can shoot at me. It can shoot at me if I'm standing exactly in that spot. Alright, so this should also just be a good, solid, self-sufficient turret. And again, the idea is to just have these out here, keeping biters out of, like, this general vicinity, so that they'll be hopefully out of my pollution cloud in general soon. That, like, the ultimate goal is to just never be attacked by biters except when I choose to expand. That would be very, very neat. Over here, this one is seeing some success, apparently. And getting ammo. This one down here does have some on the way, but not much. Also, apparently we have just like random gaps in our defenses there and there. Alright. So I think this should be good. I think this is a good time to stop, where we have these things set up. No, wait, we're being attacked. We're being attacked elsewhere. It's this corner again. Oh, the biters actually won. Okay, that's not good. Now hopefully... Okay, doesn't look like they're immediately following up, and we do have some defenses on this. But yeah, we need to beef up security here then, if the biters are actually capable of getting through all the laser turrets. Do we not have an artillery piece here? We don't, but also we have one down here, which should be even better positioned. So I don't even know where these biters are coming from. And let's see, the laser rebuilds have been successful. So we've got that. And what do we just need, like an additional line of defense or something? Like, I guess we just need even more defenses out here. So let's pop that in, get all of those powered up, and make sure they're connected back in a couple of different places, so that if one power line goes, the entire line doesn't go. And then hopefully that will be secure enough. So I think we're gonna wrap up the stream there. We've made lots of progress in claiming more resources and pushing back the biters in a bunch of places. Not quite done with that. We've got more work to do, but we are making progress. What is this? Oh, this is just like a random outpost that got attacked. I guess if you got attacked, you must be important enough to need more. So there, have another couple of those. And yeah, that's going to be the end of the stream. Hopefully this Ford's artillery posts will work and get rid of all the biters, and we can live in peace. But that'll be next stream, which will be on Thursday, so make sure to stop by for that. I'll also be streaming Satisfactory tomorrow, as usual. So yeah, that's about it.